Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is an AKASHIC record reading, but I wanted to do something different because I really wanted to look over what you guys have already accomplished, because I feel like when we do these readings, we take a look at our soul's purpose and what we're here to do, and sometimes that can be so grand, and it's like I feel your energy constantly and you guys are always working on each other, and I really wanted you to, instead of looking at what you need to do, give yourself grace for what you've already done and accomplished on a soul level. Like, I really want you guys to see, like, oh my god, I've already done this, I've already done that, and how you're adding to your life purpose every day, even in times where you might not think you are. I really wanted to kind of highlight that so you guys can kind of like give yourself a pat on the back sort of thing. So that's what we're doing today. So we'll be tapping into your Akashic records and your energies, and we're just going to be taking a look at things that you set out to accomplish that you just constantly do, or you've already passed, you've already cleared, you've already worked through, you've already aligned with, and yeah, we'll see what comes through. So I have 4 crystals for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the black tourmaline. Pile 2 is the green calcite. Pile number 3 is the amethyst cluster. And pile number 4 is the ocean jasper. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I shall see you guys at your timestamp. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what your soul has already accomplished in this lifetime. So anything that your soul has already ticked off the list, moved past, alchemized from, worked through, that it's set out to do, that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So you guys chose the black tourmaline. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s, the black tourmaline pile. What have my pile number 1s already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number 1s already accomplished? We have the 6 of Cups. What have my pile number 1s already accomplished in this lifetime? Spirit guides, what have my pile number 1's souls already accomplished in this incarnation? We've got the Death card. And we also have the 3 of Swords, which came out in reverse. So, very interesting, very to the point. Pile number 1. The Emperor. Back of the deck, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, you've accomplished quite a bit so far. Like, there's this feeling of like, a lot. You've already ticked off a lot. First thing that I saw, which is really beautiful when I was opening up to your pile number 1, is they take me to souls incarnating on Earth, and obviously, as we know, Earth, the third dimension, it's very it's dense, and there's a lot that goes on, and it's very easy to lose your way. And it's almost kind of known that when you come to Earth, you're probably gonna lose your way in some form. But the hope on incarnating for a lot of souls is that their heart space will stay open to a degree, because that's kind of like a direct link to the higher realms and your soul and your mission, you know? When we feel and we acknowledge that, we understand more. We understand that collective togetherness. It taps us into Mother Gaia's Akashic records and that wholeness that we have when we all come together. And the thing about that is, a lot of people lose that part of themselves. Now, when I talk about the heart space and the purity, I'm talking about what we all kind of refer to as the inner child. We end up losing our inner child quite early on when we incarnate, and a lot of souls know this can probably happen. Whether it's through childhood, you have to grow up before you were supposed to, you may see a lot of darkness, it can create a lot of restraints, a lot of heaviness, a lot of blockages, and it can weaken that area and kind of disconnect you to that inner child. You have to kind of abandon that part of you to adult and take care of yourself. then, you know, if it doesn't happen in childhood, it can happen in the teenage years, it can happen in the adult years when we have to work and let go of our uniqueness and kind of plug ourselves into different, you know, paradigms, let's say. But with you guys, one thing that you've accomplished, and you accomplish it every day, is you never let go of your inner child's hand. You never let go of that purity and that heart space. And even when you did have to sometimes neglect that side of yourself to help other people, or maybe give to other people before yourself, or even, you know, I see you adulting very early on. That's what I see for a lot of you. You may have a lot of Capricorn placements, Aquarian placements. I see you very much having to be strong very early on when you should have been maybe poured into. And a lot of people can really cut off to that space. You didn't. You held on, and you allowed that to be an inspiration, and you've continued to allow that to be an inspiration for you. That's an accomplishment that you hold every single day, and not a lot of people can do that. And you've done it, and you've held on to that optimism and that heart space and that togetherness and that, you know, that healing energy, that source energy. You've held on to it. And yes, it's alchemized and it's changed form, and you've had to learn how to work with it. I'm also hearing you've had to learn to protect it. But everything you've done has been through that. You never let go. And I'm hearing that's pretty impressive. I'm hearing that. It's really impressive that you've been able to hold on to it, because when your soul incarnated, and we're going to get into it, but you've had to clear some karma. And the reason I know that is because the way your soul's showing me through images is I'm being shown somebody, and it's like beautiful white light coming through with pinky and energies in it, which is heart chakra energies. And it's like, right, when I incarnate, I'm jumping in head first to this tunnel, and it's a very dark tunnel, and it's wet and it's dirty, and there's a lot in there, and I'm not gonna know how to find my way, but I'm gonna try my best to hold on. And I know there's a very big chance, especially for me jumping into this, that I can very much lose my light jumping into this, but I'm gonna do it to try and work through it and clear it, and hopefully, even if I do lose it, hopefully I'll be able to make my way back. And I'm just feeling this feeling of like, and you just never let go. Like, you just didn't let go of your heart space. You didn't let go of that. Even when you would, like, I'm seeing somebody seeing the most darkest things, and it's like, there's still compassion, there's still love. You still held on to it. It's so beautiful what I'm being shown. And there's a deeper understanding because you hold on to it then. Because it lights up other areas where you could judge something, but because you've held on to it, your heart says, we can judge it and we can understand it and we can put boundaries in and protect ourselves from it. But our heart says, let's understand it too. Why is it happening? Where is it coming from? And how can we stop it happening moving forward? And because of that, you've had this gift there with this heart space to keep moving and finding your way through. And it's almost coming through to me in a way like Florence Nightingale. It's like looking after people. You've looked after souls that have really lost themselves. You've helped rejuvenate people. You've helped them find a way home. And it doesn't mean, oh, I was doing readings for people or I was doing counselling. It doesn't mean that, although I do feel a lot of you are in the helping professions or help people. It doesn't just have to be that you are in these healing professions. It's you're sitting in a bus stop and there's somebody who's just lost someone and they're lonely and they haven't spoken to anyone in days. And then you're there and you just radiate that light and you just talk to them and you're helping them because you see compassion. Whereas a lot of people might just walk past and be like, man, it's compassion. I feel like you lift people up, you help people. And I think sometimes you may put your worth in maybe your career in helping people. Like, I could have saved this person, I could have saved that person, but like, you've done it throughout your life, even from young, with friends, family members, partners. It's like you've really like redirected, whether it was advice, holding space, taking on energy. You've really helped, because I keep being shown it's you know what it's reminding me of? It's reminding me of the Hunger Games. Katniss's younger sister Prim, she I think I don't know what she was, but I know she was like doing healing, like when I say healing, I mean like in the medical form. So she was like nursing people and helping people, and that was like her job when the kind of war broke out in Panem. Like, that's what she'd do. She'd help people that were in pain and things like that. And I almost see that, but it's more from the heart. It's like, let me give you direction, let me help you out, let me, you know. And you're constantly doing it and you're constantly accomplishing it, because that's, in a simple term, what you came to do. You came to hold space, you came to show love, you came to show compassion, you came to see people, help people feel. And I think that maybe through you not having that, maybe in childhood, you learned that there's a lack of this, so I need to create more of it. And that in its form is an alchemist. So it's like, there's not much love down here, so I'm going to be the love. There's not much, there's not much happiness down here, so I'm going to be the happiness. And also to do that, we then have to alchemize. So you being, you incarnated, like I said, I see a tunnel is lots of karma. So I feel like maybe generationally you've had to work through a lot of karma. Maybe a lot of your connections in your earlier life were karmic. Maybe you had a lot of karmic lessons happen that mirror what your parents went through and your grandparents went through. And that doesn't have to be partnerships. That can be poverty. That can be being bullied. That can be, there's so many things, being dependent on certain vices. That can be so many things. And maybe you had to, you've incarnated and you've maybe felt certain urges or had to do certain things, or things have happened to you out of your will, but it's like you alchemize it. It's like, okay, this happened and now I'm going to turn it into gold. Okay, this happened, I'm going to turn these lemons into lemonade. I'm going to turn it into something else because that's what I do. And the reason you were able to do that is because you held on to your heart space. You could have easily kept this karma going and it could have just kept happening. The light could have been snuffed out early on. You just held on. And you held on at an early age. Like, an early age, and you didn't even understand. It was just your soul like, no, I'm holding on to this. Because I see you observing a lot in your childhood. Like, pain or anger or frustration or poverty. It's like, I'm going to... And you're feeling it because you're taking it on. But it's like, okay, we're going to change this. I'm going to soothe this. I'm going to clear this. And you've done so much, because with the Three of Swords reverse, you've done so much. And I feel like it was clear in everybody else's karma first, and then it was like, right, now we need to protect. Because the Emperor here, it's like, do you see how he's got the little crystal ball? I'm almost seeing like weathering a storm, clearing it all out, and then it's like that creative source, that inspiration, that heart space, there's like a clear shield around it. So it's like, I'm walking with purpose, and now I'm going to build this garden anew. I've torn down the tower, and now I'm going to build it anew. But this time I'm going to protect my heart space so that I'm not just giving it out here, there, and everywhere. Because I feel like you gave a lot of your light out, because you were always connected to your soul purpose and you knew that was what you were here to do. But maybe in earlier life you might not have had a direction with it. Maybe you didn't take it into the career aspect, or maybe you didn't know how to balance it. That was something you might not have worked through receiving, because you were so busy giving it out. It's like, I deserve this too. I think maybe you didn't realize that at first, but it was all part of it. It wasn't you going wrong. You had to learn to maybe create a clear field around it to protect it. But from the beginning, it's like, I'm connected to my soul mission. I know I'm here to love. I know I'm here to help. So it was like partnerships. It was like, I'm going to heal you. I'm going to fix you. Parents, I'm going to heal you. I'm going to fix you. And then it was like one day it was just like, I think I deserve it back. And that was part of the healing. It's like, I deserve it back. I deserve to have that back. And I deserve abundance. And I deserve happiness. And I deserve love. So now I have to clear what taught me that I didn't deserve that. And now I'm going to do that. And then it was even more purging and more clearing. And I just see a garden with a lot of mess. And it's like you're tearing it down. And you're, pulling the weeds, getting out the rubbish. And it's like a home. And the bricks falling down. It's like I'm clearing it up. I'm being told to say, so you know this, so you hear it, you have done a spectacular job. Because when I first saw your soul, it's like this grungy, old, castle-y, cold, wet, muddy, not a lot of light here. And it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to try and hold on to that inspiration. And then they're showing me it now, where you're currently watching this, and I'm seeing a castle. And it's clean and it's spotless, and I'm doing this and there's nothing coming up, and I'm seeing wallpaper and like trying out different wallpapers and paints on the wall to try different paints. So it's like, and I have to say this, your past is not coming with you into your future. That cycle is gone. You've cleared it, because you're at a point now where it's like, now we build and we understand ourselves even more. Now we bring light. Now we bring happiness. Now we bring color, and now we can play. And now that source energy that I was holding on to, it's now got an outlet. It's now got a safe space to fill and just joyously give. And now I know how to protect it. So it's like you've not just cleared that castle and built it up. It's like you also now know how to protect yourself. You now know how to move strategically, and now you know where to place your energy. You know what I mean? Where other people are going to be able to use that to alchemize too, and respect it and pour back into you. And it's really, really beautiful. It's like you've gone to a tree that was withering, and you've gone down to the roots, and you've sorted it out, and now it's starting to bloom. And that's where you're currently at. It's like the storm's gone, and you did it. Like, you did that. And I keep wanting to reference it because I just feel like you've absorbed. I don't think you realize how much you've absorbed, taken on, cleared. And now you're settling in. And a lot of people could, you know, because the thing is, when we clear, especially like trauma and things like that, there's so much that goes into it. It's not just like, okay, we're purging and whatever. We have to reset our brain. We have to reset, you know, the neurons in our brain. We have to reset our nervous system. You know, we then may have physical things that come up that we've got to work through. And it's like you're at a place now where it's like soothing and settling and slowly allowing nature to kind of like grow through, slowly allowing your inner child to like sing and pass on beautiful messages, or be even more of a light now that there isn't that heaviness anymore. And now you know how to help people that are also in that same tower and that same castle, because it's like, I made it through, this is how you do it. So it's like, you know, all of, you know, it's like, you know, the maps of like the underworld. You've done a lot of subconscious clearing and shadow work. You understand ugly emotions and darker emotions, but you also understand how to control them. You understand that there's ugly in people, but you also understand that there's beauty in people, and there's a duality. And now you're able to move with intention, and help people in that way. Because maybe before you saw the light, but you might not have understood the dark because you were still there, whereas you've made your way out now. It's like you understand the tunnels underneath, you understand the tunnels above, and you're able to kind of balance that together and grow this beautiful garden that, you know, you deserve. And it's not over. I see a lot of, you know, abundance coming in, because when you look, the sun's only just arising. It's only now popping up with these pentacles. So I feel like there's a lot to bloom. And I think it's not just, you know, let's just say healing trauma that you're bringing. It's happiness. It's pure love that you're bringing in. It's beautiful romantic connections you're bringing in. It's freedom, financial freedom. Like, I just see a lot of that. But as for right now, you've cleared so much karma and you've grown. It's like you've healed a lot of your shadow. And it's like, I also went down to save my shadow. And now my shadow, they're in control of their own energies, and they're no longer, you know, reacting out of emotion. My inner child knows it's okay. My shadow self knows it's okay. And I'm able to move forward with that state of inner peace. And I feel like that's what you're reaching right now, to be able to grow from just inspiration without pain being the cause, you know, which is really, really beautiful. So I think that you've alchemized and rebirthed and cleared so much karma that I feel like I would need a whole separate reading to really go through all of it, because I just think you've cleared so much in your family line. It's no longer, you know, you're no longer underground. It's up, you know, it's above ground, and it's beautiful, and there's color and there's hope. And I also think that you bring hope to people around you, whether it's friends, family members. It's like you've brought light and hope to people, like in an inspirational way, maybe in your family. Or maybe they followed your lead and started to do work on themselves or choose different, because you've already rubbed off on people, the specific people you've rubbed off on close to you that would also have been in this, you know, in this little tower with you. And it's like you've already rubbed off. They're already starting to clear as well. You're really felt, and your heart space and your love energy there, it's very felt. And it's very beautiful. Let's pull some more. What have my pile number ones already accomplished in this lifetime? You've also done, and this is something I want to say, because there's so many pentacles here. I think you've cleared so many different avenues, but one of the things I want to say is relationships. I think maybe there was power dynamics in relationships, and I think maybe you've gone through certain karmic relationships or witnessed your parents go through very heavy relationships, but you've learned to balance that out, and that maybe you don't need anyone else to complete you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of balance there, and maybe you've been through very destructive relationships, I'm hearing, volatile relationships, and you've learned to balance that. Maybe you were drawing in a lot of broken bridges that were just depleting you. You've balanced that out. It's really, really beautiful, because I see somebody fully, and you know, it's like I've cleared my lower chakras, I've cleared my higher chakras, and now I'm just bringing, you know, more wisdom through and intuitive messages through, and it's like now I can really live. It's almost like now I'm living as a soul, like another being on earth, and now I can just really, you know, see the wonder and the beauty instead of just the third dimensional basics. It's like I see so much, you know. It's like you've brought parts of your soul through. So you may have gone through a lot of enlightenment periods and brought a lot of messages and healing through that way, because I see a lot of your soul coming through, and it's like, right, I'm here now, I feel more physical, I feel more grounded, and it's like I've got loads of ideas, I've got loads of intuitive downloads coming through, and I feel like slowly but surely, because I'm seeing it, you're changing, like your physical, like I see sense of taste, sense of smell, sense of hearing, it's getting heightened, and you're really understanding and balancing maybe spiritual gifts, which is really beautiful, and being able to use them to a higher degree. They're coming through a lot stronger, and I see a lot of past life memories or gifts that were open in past lives coming through, because you've made room for it, because you've cleared so much. It's like once we clear the karma, we'll be able to bring more of ourselves through, more of our soul through, but we can only do that once we make room for it. So I feel like you've done that, because I see that's where that light is coming from then, and that inspiration. It's like you're bringing more aspects of your soul through, which is beautiful. And that's ongoing. You've already done a lot, but there's more to come as well. I feel like you're going to keep evolving like that. It's really beautiful. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. What have my pile number 1 souls already accomplished in this incarnation? You've already tamed your darkness, and you're like, we have completion, full moon. You've already closed out a very big chapter and cycle. A very big chapter and cycle. Pile number 1. Celebration. Your ancestors, I feel, have been really working with you as well. And really guiding. I see an ancestor that's so protective. It's a female energy. So protective. I see this female ancestor standing in front of you. Were you ever like, I don't know if some of you guys, and trigger warning, I don't know if some of you guys may have been bullied in school, or people have really tried to like stamp out your light, but as much as you're able to hold your own, I see a female ancestor like, don't you dare. Like I see somebody putting like a stick in front of somebody, like it's like a wooden stick, and I see somebody almost like placing it in front of somebody and like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Like I see that. And do you know what it is as well? I feel like there's been connections where you may have learned the lesson or learned enough to be able to alchemize it, and while you were in the process of alchemizing, somebody's thought of popping back up or coming back in, or a friend has tried messing with something, and I see it's an ancestor stepping in and going, don't bother, don't you dare, don't even think about it, and then their energy's directed elsewhere, just to cause chaos. And it's just like your ancestors like, no, you're not doing that. So I don't know, let me know if somebody's tried to maybe block things for you career-wise, or come back into your life when they've really hurt you, like a friend, or a like I see like a friend trying to really tear you down, or like a partner, or somebody that just like really was almost out for themselves, trying to come back and feed off your energy, because there's almost this thing, don't bother. It's like sending them away, like they've already learned the lesson and they're working through it, you're not coming back, do not start opening that up again, they're already clearing it, get away. Like there's a strong energy here. even to other family members, because I see maybe other family members have tried to maybe attack the light, not understanding it that you have, and I just see, go, don't bother. Like they're so protect. It's a female energy, really strongly around you, protecting you, because I think they've been almost waiting for certain souls to come through and break through, and I feel like people have lost that light then, so it's like they're almost drifting, and I feel like you came through and it was almost like expected, like, oh, they're gonna, you know, let's hope for the best, but, you know, I feel like they might lose it, and then it's like you just kept holding on to it, and it's like, oh my god, they're doing it, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and it's like bringing like hope there. Again, I'm being taken to the Hunger Games. I don't know if you watch that a lot, when Prim says to Katniss, there's something different this time, and then she says, what's different? Like, and I think Prim says that Katniss brings like hope to people, and when you look at what's his name, the guy that's like a tribute that looks after Katniss, he's got blonde hair, I quite fancied him, I can't remember his name. Anyway, when he first meets Katniss and Peter, he already thinks they're from District 12, they're not going to make it, I'm not interested. But when he sees how good Katniss is, you can see his eyes light up, and he really thinks she has a chance in like winning that, and he really like fights for it, like he's with her till the end of the franchise. So there's almost a feeling of this ancestor like almost observing, but then you just keep holding on to that light, and it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then it's like, you know, really protective, like, no, not now, because I feel like there might have been times where you were like, I don't want to, I can't do it anymore, and they're like, nope, you're not giving up now, nope, last hurdle, you're not doing it. Really strong. Could be a grandmother, but it does feel way up your family line, like it feels like up your family line, generations back. And then we have the whale breach. Let me just get one more. Pile number one. What have my pile number ones already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number ones already? Oh, we've got two more. What have we got? We've got vulnerability and reflection. Winter solstice, reflection, and meadow. And do you want to know what's so synchronistic? Is that the Hunger Games kept coming through, and right at the end of the movie, Katniss sings this song to her child after she's made it out alive. And she sings, deep in the meadow, under the willow, a bed of grass, a soft green pillow, lay down your head and close your eyes. And basically, I'm not going to go into the song, but she basically is singing about having, you know, being at peace in a meadow, and it's like when your eyes open, the sun will rise and everything will be beautiful. And I feel like, you know, it's like completion, it's like you're cleansing, the full moon here, you're healing, and then it's like you've mastered something, you've gone to those depths, you've gone to those murky waters, you have reflected, you've gone down to the roots of those trees, you've helped them alchemize, and now it's like, here I am. And it's like your heart space, not even got a scar on it. It's not even got a scar on it, because you've alchemized that, you polished that stayed intact. And I think that's so beautiful, and they keep wanting to reference it because it's like, you know, it doesn't happen a lot. You know, it's like really good, like that's just like, that's one heck of a job. Like that doesn't happen too much. That's not something you see every day, you know. And then we have karma. Literally, you've been peeling the layers, literally changing DNA. That's insane. To create this abundance in whatever way you see fit, because abundance is going to be different for all of you, and that's the beauty of where you're at right now. You have a choice of what you do now and how you build it. Whereas before you might have felt like you were just fighting a tide and you didn't really have a choice. Whereas now it's almost like I have a choice. I have a choice, and I can grow, and it's up to me. Pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Final cards. What have my pile number ones already completed in this lifetime? Changes. You guys are making me want to have a Hunger Games marathon, because I keep being shown scenes from there. I'm being shown the end where Katniss, it's all over, and Effie turns to Katniss and she says, it's your job to take care of you now, Katniss. And then she says, I hope you find it. And she says, find what? And then she says, the life of a victor. And I just see that changes You've literally turned the wheel. Like the life that a lot of maybe your ancestors have been living for some time, it's gone. You've cleared it now. You've like blazed a path. Teaching. With the tree as well, with the roots. You went down to the roots. With number 1 and 4 adding up to 5, with teaching, it's obviously ruled by Mercury. You may even go into teaching or guiding people to do the same, motivational speaking, helping people heal, again, healing the nervous system, healing the physical body, caring professions, helping guide people through certain things, you know, it could be in healing professions, you know, and guiding people in that way, and spirituality. It doesn't matter what way it is, but I just feel like that's what you're here to do now. You're almost here to be, because I look at the tree and it's like Grandmother Willow sort of thing. You're here to be that kind of guide now, which is really beautiful. I don't know why I'm just being flashed to somebody as like a grandparent and being like Grandmother Willow and like passing on wisdom and information. It's really, really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And then we have inner journey, and that's what you've been on. You kind of had to heal from the inside out. You know, a lot of people go outside and then they have a lot of experiences and then they start turning inwards. You were inwards, and, you know, healing that from young, it feels, which is really, really beautiful. You've had to learn a lot, I feel, because the 5 and the 3 adding up to 8 is ruled by Saturn. So you've had to really clear karma and learn a lot. And you've done a beautiful job. So you've done so much already, Power One. I really hope you acknowledge that in yourselves. I really hope you give yourself a pat on the back after this reading, because the weights you've lifted is just absolutely beautiful. And the heart space that I'm tapping into, it's just so beautiful. So much optimism and light and just love and wisdom. Like so much wisdom, you know? So much wisdom that even your soul's learned from this incarnation, because your soul always pulls wisdom from everywhere. But yeah, no, this is really beautiful, pile number 1. So first off, as a fellow light worker, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've done, because collectively it creates such a difference, and I know how many of you are here. So just from me to you, thank you for the work that you've done on yourself and the light that you hold, and holding on to that in really dark times. I really, really appreciate that. I know how hard it is. I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I know how hard it is, so I really appreciate you guys. I'm sending you guys all of my love. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you enjoyed this reading. I hope you guys have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pals, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what your soul has already accomplished in this lifetime so far. So everything that your soul's kind of ticked off the box, that's what we are taking a look at today. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, I feel like a lot of what you came to accomplish, you do it in such, like, in ways that, like, you as a human might not even see. Like, you're constantly accomplishing it. Because one thing that I'll say about you, you see beauty in everything. You see art in everything. There's creativity in everything. And I think that you constantly are taking things off the box just by maybe self-expression or art or designing or different creative endeavors. It's like you're constantly doing it. So we'll see what that's about. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, tap me into the Akashic records of my pile number 2s. What has my pile number 2 souls already accomplished in this lifetime? If you already don't live by the water, I see you relocating by the water. You may be my water pile, but I just see a lot of love for water and the ocean. It could be ponds and lakes as well. But I feel like this urge to be there, like I'm being called there. So it wouldn't shock me if you you relocate somewhere with water, if your soul already chose to incarnate somewhere like that. That's something that is coming through. Yeah, that's something that's coming through. You may resonate with like Mintaka energies and things like that. Pile number 2. Yeah, I see like strong like a pull to Mintaka beings. pile number 2. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. What have my pile number 2s already accomplished? Tap me into the Akashic records. Yeah, I think you're my water pile. We have the star. Pile number 2. I think you have a strong connection to nature too. Nature and music, because the bird that just did that little tweet, it's a song that it sings constantly. Like every year when I start hearing and the windows are open in spring, I'm like, here it is again, because it just sings the same song over and over. It's so beautiful, and it's the same song. I kind of know it off by heart now. We have the King of Pentacles. Pile number 2. What are my pile number 2 souls already? We just get the cards down and I'll channel for you. Pile number 2. What are my pile number 2 souls? Upright, upside down. There's no upside down actually. Pile number 2. What have my pile number 2 souls already chosen to? We have the Hierophant. And we have the 5 of Pentacles reversed. On the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. You are here to live as authentically as you can and really tap into the beauty that is everywhere that a lot of people walk past. And the reason I said that you guys, I feel, are constantly doing what your soul came here to accomplish is there's a strong urge around creativity, creating from source, creating from inspiration, creating and surrounding yourself with like beautiful things and love and music and fun and maybe traveling. It doesn't have to be, but like I see, and this could be in any area. It could be like interior design and fashion. It could be in makeup. It could be in, you know, having your physical avatar look the way that you want it to look, and changing your style up or changing your career up. Or it's whenever you tap into your creative juices, you're doing what you came here to do. You're here to see beauty and create beauty and you know, find beauty as well in other people, you know. And I think that you get inspired by people a lot, but you're also here to find that inspiration within and create from your internal source, because the way you are constantly doing what you came here to do is in the littlest things. Like, I don't know why I see someone creating cups. I don't know if someone has their own business making cups. I just got shown that. But like aesthetics, you know, even just like downloading Tumblr, downloading Pinterest, creating boards, creating art, you know, getting clothes, creating your own clothes, designing an outfit, living in it, enjoying it, making food, making it into art, enjoying it, creating beauty. You're living it. You're constantly doing it. So it's like, you're doing what you came here to do. And any time that you step into your authenticity and that creative juice just without any projections onto it, and that love for self, that is when you are doing what you came here to do. And I see a lot of you guys doing that, because maybe there were times where people projected onto you, you shouldn't wear this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't look like this, you shouldn't say this, and trying to tailor you. The minute you say F it and you do what you came here to do and you live authentically like that, flourishing. And I see you guys doing it. There's never really been a time where you weren't ticking these boxes off, because you were always kind of doing it. Even when you take inspiration from something, it's like you'll put a twist on it and you'll shake it up and you'll make it your own. And there's a fire here, even though you're such a intuitive person and you're feeling into things and things have got to feel good and you've got to see beauty. It's like there's a fire here because it's passion and it's creativity. And I feel like, especially with the star card here and that Aquarian feel, you may have a lot of Aquarius placements in your chart. But I just feel like you may have always as well had a strong sense of like not being able to fit in, or not feeling like you were from here. Because you see how she's looking up at the stars, like looking up at home. But you were here to kind of tailor and create your own little mini movie, create your own life, it's like, I want to feel comfortable, I want to see beauty, and I want to understand who I am, and I want to find myself through all of this, and I want to create through all of this. So I want to try out different hats until I feel like I'm a part of this world, or I can step into like a leadership kind of like energy where I find my place because I created my place. Like, you're here to do that. It's almost like some of you guys may have Saturn in the 11th house, because I almost feel like you might have felt like you didn't fit in with friends, or you didn't fit in like maybe like society. You might have felt like a bit of an outcast, and it's like, I'm creating my place right here. If there isn't a spot for me, I'm going to create my spot, and I'm going to make it the best spot. You know what I mean? And then everyone's going to want to come to my spot because it's going to be so cool. So it's like, you do that and you tailor things, you know, to fit that. Which is really beautiful. It's reminding me of Zoe 101, if you ever watched that. Zoe, she had to buy this like really, no, I think one of her friends had to buy this like really plain backpack, and the girl didn't like it. She was like, this is so boring and plain. And then Zoe was like, let me see what I can do. And she just creates all these beautiful designs on these backpacks to the point that she ends up like selling them. And they're like really cool, and they have all of these designs because she makes it her own. And I just feel like you're that type of person. So you're constantly ticking this box because you're constantly reinventing yourself and trying things on, and in any way that means for you. It could just be in your career, you know, constantly having those creative juices. It's like nothing's enough because I want to keep creating. It's like nothing can, it's like I'm being shown dough, and it's like your soul saying to me, it can be stretched and turned into anything. I can turn it into the shape of a star, but I can also change it into the shape of a circle, and I can also add chocolate chips to it and make it a chocolate chip cookie, or maybe I could add some raisins to it and add it and you make it like a fruit thing. Like, there's so many things that I can do with it. Why should I settle for just one? Why do we just want one? And it's like the creative juices are flowing. So I think that everything you do, and I see you doing that from young. I see like a young child, like, what if I wear my clothes this way? Or what if I wear this way? Or what if I try this out? Or what if I wear... They're reminding me of when I was younger, and I used to dress myself. And I used to dress myself as a cowboy. I went through a cowboy phase, and I would have like cowboy boots, hat, shorts, and I had a social worker that would come and like check on me and my siblings. And I remember like they were like, right, make yourself look nice for when the social worker comes, like, you know. And I dressed up as a cowgirl, and I had a big pink fluffy cowgirl hat with boots and a checked shirt. And the social worker said, does she always dressed like this? And they were like, oh, she dressed herself today. But like, I see you guys doing that, but to like a higher degree. Like, I just see you constantly making things your own, tailoring things to fit you, seeing inspiration and getting inspired by things, but making it yours, homing in on it, changing it. It's really, really beautiful. And I think you have an eye for like, it wouldn't shock me if you end up, or if you're already doing it. And if you're already doing it, you're, again, another thing being ticked off the list. But like, it wouldn't shock me if you either work for yourself, have like you know, your own website where you sell things that you create, and that could be anything. It could be tech, it could be creating physical things, it could be a little store that you create, whatever you're doing, paintings, anything. You know what I mean? I just see that's part of your mission, and it's as simple as that. But I think maybe you've gone through, because with the Ace of Cups being here as well, and it comes straight under the Chariot reversed, it's like, it's almost making me feel like when you've had to conform, it didn't feel right to you. It's like, I'm not expressing myself, I don't feel good, I'm not expressing. And this is, it's not just creating in the sense of art and things that we can see beautiful. It's like, I want to feel love, and I want to be in love, and I want to feel that, and I don't want to be restrained in that. I want to feel love to its deepest capacity, and I don't want somebody telling me what that is. I want to experience it for myself, and I want to come to terms with that myself, and I want to create that love for myself. Because with the Chariot reversed, it's like people trying to control and tell you what's right and wrong, and it's like, no, I'm here to experience it myself. I'm here to experience that. It's like, you might not read too many books, or if you do, you understand it, you take information you need, but it's never the layout. You'll pick pieces that you need, but you'll make it into your own. Because it's like, I want to experience that myself. I don't feel like I need to be coached into that. I have to experience it. I have to become it, which is really, really cool and interesting. But I also feel like there might have been people that try to put you in a box and say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you should dress like this. And maybe there might have been times for some of you where you did, but you were always going to break out of that box and come back into this Ace of Cups, because that's where your juices flow. That's why you're in alignment. And we always come back home, and you have a strong urge to live in your truth, which is really beautiful. This is strongly Aquarius energy coming through. I also feel like you are here to bring, and you already do it, a lot of you guys do, especially if you have some sort of creative endeavor where this is part of your career. But with the Hierophant, I think that you guys bring ideas and information through from spirit. A lot of the great dimensions that we have on earth, without even realizing it, sometimes souls on earth will download that information from home or their Akashic records or from spirit that are working with them. We don't realize it, but it happens. And I almost feel like you guys do that. And that's you taking that off the list as well. I feel like you guys constantly do that. And it doesn't even have to be on a large scale. It could be one day you think, I want to move my room around. I want to move my room around. But what you don't realize is your spirit council, your spirit team are around you going, the energy needs to be shifted. The energy needs to be worked through in this room. And if we move the room around this way, it's going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap you guys into that, so you guys can start creating and moving that around, and then you're intuitively moving pieces to allow the energies to flow, you know. So that's another really interesting thing that you guys do. And I think when you're in alignment, and I see a lot of you guys doing it because you're constantly tailoring to that unique frequency, you're always going to do things your own way and dance to the beat of your own drum, because I think that what you're mastering as well is your own energetic cycle of like, now I feel like I want to be, you know, working out a lot, and now I feel like I want to be slow paced and moving, whereas like it could be the trend to be doing X, Y, and Z. It could be the trend to have lots of money, and you're like, I just want to be financially free, and I just maybe want to go on trips or something. I don't want to like hoard it and buy, you know, designer things. Whereas like then it could be that there's trends where everyone wants to be natural and whatever, and it's like, I want to create through fashion, and I'm going to buy a couple of designer things in here and there because that's what I'm going to do. So it's almost like you're always going the other way because you're listening to your own cycle. And the more you do that, and the more you tap into that, you're taking that box off the list. And you do that constantly. So I just see lots of texts because it's like you're always finding beauty. You're always finding beauty in yourself and other people, and art in yourself and other people, and your mind's always ticking and creating and learning and getting inspired. It's really beautiful. I see someone creating music because of, you know, they heard water running and it made a sound, and you heard it and it's like, right, I'm going to create a song from it. You're always doing it. It's constantly happening. And the Five of Pentacles reversed, there's this feeling of like, if you're not going to let me in the club, I'm going to make my own club. If I have to tailor myself to come into your club, I don't want it anyway. I'm making my own. You can't control me. That's what I'm hearing. Really, really interesting. Like, I feel like if you were like an artist, like a musician, you wouldn't do well being signed to a very big record label that would almost structure the music that came out. You have to have the creative control. It reminds me of Tinashe. She's an Aquarius, and when she got signed by like a label, and she's been really held back. They wouldn't let her really release anything that she wanted, and her music didn't do all too well, and you can see that the creative process was hindered for her. Whereas when she quit, she dropped one of the best creative albums in my opinion of all time. Like, I think it's great. If you want to hear it, it's called Songs for You by Tinashe. It's a really good album, and it's really different. But that's the thing, when you're held back, and that's in anything. I feel like it's in jobs, it's in anything. When you're told that you have to structure and tailor yourself, and it goes against your own morals or how you express yourself, that's where you go against it. It's quite interesting. It's not necessarily like I'm doing this, and this. It's like, this is what I'm here to do, and I fall in line with it, rather than just like I'm just ticking these things that I'm doing off. But I do think one thing that you have ticked, and I see it, is learning how to be your own cheerleader, find your own worthiness in what you're here to create, and also self-love. Not needing anybody else's approval, because you've got your own approval and you're just here to create. Creation doesn't need approval. Nature doesn't need approval from anyone to grow. It just does. And it creates the most beautiful flowers and the most beautiful trees, and that's you. You know, that's literally you. So that's what I see. But it was more giving yourself permission to follow that blueprint of your heart space and your own creative flow. Pile number 2. What have my pile number 2s already accomplished in this lifetime? Shape-shifting. You may have been like 10 different people already. Shifted aesthetic, shifted, you know, who you want to be, because you're taking pieces and building who you are constantly. We have the wolf instinct, the whale breach, and one more. Pile number 2. Earth magic, the fairies. You may be connected to the fairy realm. Back of the deck we have new moon, promise. Yeah, planting seeds of creation, starting again, bringing newness, bringing fresh. It wouldn't shock me if you guys are like fashion designers. You may not even be like, that's your career, but I feel like people would be like, yeah, they dress really cool. Because I see that. The wolf instinct, yeah, leading the pack, learning to move off of your own initiative, not needing anybody else to say so, listening to your own instinct of creation and building that, being authentic, doing you. Whale breach. And there's so much depth to creation too, because I feel like everything you do is with meaning, because that's how you feel it. So it's like, I'm working on my solar plexus right now, and I'm learning to tap into my worth, and I'm so inspired by this, and I just want the color yellow all around me, and I want to wear that color, and I want to see that color, and I want to create music like that, and I want to work with the fire element, and it's like it all becomes something. You become it when you create that way. It's really interesting because there's depth to everything you do, and you didn't just put on those, you know, those shoes for a reason. It's like, I'm doing it for this, like this means this to me, this means that to me. It's like I'm watching a movie, and yes, aesthetic wise it means this to me and whatever, but it also means something to me. It's moving my heart space, and it's creating inspiration for me to go on creating. It's really interesting. And then the fairies, earth magic, it's like seeing beyond what can be and advancing it to create something better, and seeing the depth. Like I said, when I was tapping into you, the bird was singing, and people could just be like, oh, birds are tweeting, but like, it's a song. If you actually listen to any time a bird sings like that, there's a song and there's a pattern to it. And I see you guys seeing it, understanding it, seeing the depth in it, and wanting, you know, to create more, and seeing creation all around you. It's really beautiful. So let's pull your final cards. Pile number 2. What have my pile number 2s already accomplished in this lifetime? I feel like a lot of you guys have your own business, or are working towards it, or just have a creative endeavor that you do. Guys, look at the card that just came out. Creativity. I mean, I don't even need to go deep into that. That's the whole reading. And I was saying the creative juice is flowing, with the water flowing through. Anytime you take heed of those nudges and ideas, taking something off the box. Pile number 2. What are my pile number 2s? What have my pile number 2s already accomplished in this lifetime? Oh, you've got 3. We've got ancient wisdom, and we have duality. What do we have? Ancient wisdom. It's like you're blending. It's like I'm tapping into the ancestral roots. I'm tapping into what's already been done on earth. I'm taking what worked, and then I'm taking what they're doing now, and I'm taking what works, and I'm making it into my own, and I'm adding something different. I'm adding a flair, and I'm bringing the duality of past, present, and future to now, so that we can find, it's like, so that we can, I'm trying to find the word. It's so that we can advance. Like, we can't advance without tapping into the past, because if we don't tap into the past, then we're not rooted. We have to tap into our ancestors and the roots initially, the source of where it comes from. But then we need to change it, and we need to shift it, because energy always has to grow. So I feel like that's what you're doing. It's like you take wisdom and energy and you turn it into something greater. And that's why we have duality, because you like rebirth it, you alchemize it. What have we got at the back of the deck? I have to cover the word, but it's S energy. You know what word I would have to cover for that. But you have S energy with the horse here. And that's a very creative energy. We really create from there and tap into that divine feminine energy and, you know, that flow of life. There's so much creation in that area of our body. And I see you guys, you know, really working with that as well. So yeah, pile number 2, I feel like you've accomplished a lot in terms of creating, and I feel like it doesn't have to be anything grand. I just think any time that you get inspired or create or write poetry or make movies or listen to music or just design your home, you're doing it because your soul's creating, and that's literally what you've already accomplished, which is beautiful. So pile 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what your soul has already accomplished in this lifetime on earth. So you guys chose the amethyst crystal. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s, actually, sorry guys. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s, please, spirit guides. Tap me into the amethyst pile. What have my pile number 3s already accomplished in this incarnation? What have they already ticked off the list? What have my pile number 3s already accomplished? I think you've already done a really good job of cleansing. A bunch of your cards just fell on the floor, by the way. I think that you've already done a really good job of, I'm hearing cleansing the palette in the sense of tailoring the physical body to withhold maybe a lot of downloads or bring a lot of intuitive messages through in regards to your psychic abilities. There's a big focus in your higher chakras and allowing your physical body to kind of like bring those messages in and bring those energies of healing in, which is really, really good. But let me just grab the cards because they've gone all over the floor. I think it was part of your mission to be connected to spirit and to download and bring messages through. Sorry guys, I always knock the cards, but a bunch of them fell then, so yeah, I think it's part of your mission, and I think that your soul knew, right, I'm going to incarnate and I'm going to help people in that field, or be able to see things from a deeper level like that, so I need to tailor my own frequency first, because there's almost this feeling of like, through your earlier life, like a lot of frequency shifts and changes. You may have even felt like timeline shifts. I remember when I was younger once, I was actually in Disneyland Paris and I was just stood there, and then all of a sudden I just felt like I'd only just been born. Like, it was really weird. I know it's so hard to put into words, but I just felt like every memory before that moment, it was almost like I could review it, but I couldn't feel it. It was really interesting, and I felt different. Like, I felt energies were different. I felt dizzy. I felt like not of this world. It was really interesting, and I feel like you may have had that, because the reason I'm saying is I had it the other day, but I see you guys having a lot of that, like as if time had stopped but you can't remember it and it's just started again, like, and you felt it. I'm just seeing something like that. It doesn't have to be. I just see a lot of frequencies and downloads and shifts happening like that for you. You may have gone through a lot of ascensions quite young. You may have seen spirit a lot quite young. Even if you couldn't make sense of it, it could be that it was coming through, but you had to kind of learn to tailor it. But I just see a lot of that. And the reason it's coming through is because you've already accomplished it. You've already set the grounds. But we'll get more into that. So pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. What have my pile number 3s already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number 3s already accomplished in this lifetime? Queen of Wands. What have my pile number 3s already accomplished in this lifetime? You may have been on your own a lot in childhood, or just had a lot of time to review your own inner world, dissect a lot of deep emotions. You could have gone through a lot in childhood, so you had a lot to filter through. And I feel like naturally you're somebody that's very analytical and will really poke a feeling until it's, you know, completely rebirthed into something else, or until you understand it. Like, there's a very similar to pile number 2 and Aquarian feel, but pile number 2's was different because they were very much I'm creating, whereas you're like I'm dissecting. It's like scorpionic. It's like I'm dissecting, I'm understanding, I'm not just feeling the fabric, I'm looking at where it came from, I'm feeling how old it is, how looking at the quality, and I'm not just talking about fabric here, it's more so your mind. Like, you're taking in so much and dissecting it and understanding it really young. Like, you may have felt not of this world very young. That's what I'm picking up. We have the Empress as well. Pile number 3. You may have inquired about spirit very young. It's not shocked me. We have the High Priestess. Yeah, you may have inquired about spirit very young. I see somebody actually talking to spirit quite young, or seeing spirit around, or meditating, and it like early teens, early 20s. It's like it feels like childhood though, or it could even be that you were scared of it, you know, like you could have been feeling things or seeing things and getting frightened of it, but like spirit's around and it's just a gift that you have, and it's like, what's going on? And I see you passing through a lot of understandings, and it's happening young though. Like, I see you passing through a lot of information, taking things in, learning. I feel like you might have seen a lot through childhood. You may have traveled a lot through childhood. You might not have had the most stable home, whether it was you were moving a lot or there was a lot going on. It was a bit dysfunctional. So you were understanding people's feelings and anger and frustration and dynamics like that. Yeah, it's almost like your emotions as well were like pushed to a certain capacity that you almost had to filter through and understand. I'm having an ache at the back of my head, and I'm being told somebody needs to either be training their eyes, because I see squinting a lot, and it's either you need to get your eyes tested, or you need to stay away from too much harsh light, or you need to train your eyes in natural light, outdoors, to be able to kind of like be open without squinting, because I feel like an ache at the back of my head and spirit saying, yeah, it's squinting, it keeps squinting, it keeps squinting. So whoever that's for, you're being asked to kind of rest your eyes. If you're on the phone a lot, and reading a lot, you're being called to maybe rest them, take time away from that. That's just something that came through, so I was wondering why I was getting it. Pile number 3. What have pile number 3's souls already accomplished in this lifetime? Oh God. What have my pile number 3's already accomplished in this lifetime? Justice. I think similar to number 1, you've been clearing karma, but yours, you're more in a mental energy. You're more filtering through, you're more so dissecting, you're more so understanding. We have the 9 of Swords reversed at the back of the deck. You understood, it's so interesting, you understood your shadow young. Like, I think you're here to understand the shadow, to understand those darker emotions, to understand that sort of capacity and not get lost in it. A lot of people can get lost in that. Like, a lot of people can go in to do shadow work and not come back out. And I feel like you're here to dissect and understand those, what we call darker energies. I see psychology. I see, it's not just therapy. Like, I see criminology. I see you understanding how people tick, how people's minds work. But it's different because it's not just layered through the mental energy. It's psychic too. Like, you're seeing people, but it's almost like you're the other side of pile number 1. Or it could be that you were drawn to both, and this is the other aspect of the reading. Could be either. But you saw a lot young. And you've seen darkness and you've seen all of that. And it's like, why did people do that? Why do people, how do people get lost in that? How do people lose their light like that? How do they do it? And it's almost like you're standing in these emotions to feel into them, that a lot of people are too scared to. And it's like, not only are you alchemizing them, but it's like, I'm dissecting it. I'm looking right into it. It's like, there's a beast in front of me, but I could fight it off, but I'm just standing my own and I'm looking into its eyes. And then it's like I'm soothing the beast and it's crying to me, and I'm like, it's okay, you don't have to be angry all the time. Like, and it's almost like I'm understanding it. It's quite funny. That's what I'm being shown. So it's almost like you have the ability, Pal 3, to like really burst open the heart spaces of people that are the most cut off to that, you know, and understand it. It's reminded me of like the Joker and that speech he says, where he talks about other people and how I never remember the speech. I've read it a million times. I do not remember what he says, but he basically talks about other people and how they act. I'm sure he talks about people acting like very morally right and acting like, you know, they're like a savior or something. It's like they're scared of their own kind of like darkness. It's like, but I sit in it and I talk to it and I befriend it. I befriend the monsters under the bed, you know, very Eminem, Rihanna, the monster. But that's how you heal, because you understand and then you lift it. It's like you lift the rug. You go deep into those minds and you go deep into emotions that people don't want to feel, you know. For you to feel joy and happiness and that beautiful light, you also have to understand that darkness, and that's why you do it. You can really weather that storm. And this is what you've been doing. This is what you've been accomplishing. It's like nobody wants to feel grief and they avoid it, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to feel it. Nobody wants to feel abandonment and to feel unloved, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to feel it until I understand where it came from, so it can go, or so I can have control over it. No one wants to, you know, feel that anger. People are scared of their own anger. You're not. You're going to feel into it. You're going to feel into that anger. You're going to give that shadow part of you an outlet to be angry, to feel those feelings, so you can understand and get control over it, see where it's coming from. Because a lot of the time anger stems from grief, you know? A lot of the time it does. And why did this happen to me? And then it turns into anger and spite. And then they do it to other people, and then it continues. You're here to stop it by understanding it and putting a cap on it. And that's what you've been doing with your own emotions, with what you've seen. Similar to pal number 1, I hear it stops with me. So it's like, I could end up like a parent that did this, and I could end up like that, or like that person or this person. But I'm going to stand in it and I'm going to feel it, but I'm not going to avoid it. I'm going to really feel it, and then I'm going to put a stop to it because I'm going to understand it. So it doesn't have to continue. I'm going to put a cap on it. I'm going to pull the weed. I'm going to go right into the darkness and do it. Really interesting. And that's where the psychic ability part comes in as well, because it's like people are scared of other realms. They're scared of even their own potentials, of what they could do or what they could bring or what gifts they have. People are scared of it, and you're like, nope, I'm not being scared of it. Because I even see beings testing you out here. Like, I even see beings coming to you and trying to like initiate that fear, and you're like, really? Are you gonna do that? Or someone, you know, someone could like maybe try and do work on you, and you almost like, I see a hand coming towards you and you're just holding it, and you're like, I see in the dark constantly. I saw this coming a mile away. Go back to where you came from. Boom. And you just revive your energy, and it's like boom. And now you've learned where there was maybe a crack in the foundation. So thank you for sending that to me. Now I can clear it up. So you're an alchemist, the same as pal number 1, but you do the shadow energy. Or again, you could have watched pal number 1, and this is the other side of your energy, where you create that beauty and abundance from. Because we do have the Empress here. So you're constantly understanding how energy works, how this realm works, how people work, how their darkness works, how their light works. And it's like you're reading people and understanding people, and you see people. And like I always say, you see what people say, you see what they don't say, you see their body language. You're dissecting constantly, you know? You're speaking out of your shadow. You're actually lying. And you're bending the truth, and I know you're bending the truth because you wouldn't say this otherwise. And you learned that from young, and you're constantly understanding it, so you can understand this world. And that's you taking it off the list because you've been doing this. I feel like you're a master in this, which is really, really interesting. I'm being shown from The Devil Wears Prada, where Miranda says to Andy, I remember their names this time, and she says, you see people. She says that to Andy. She says, you see people. You see their likes and their dislikes. So she says, you see their bad and their good. She says something like that, and then she says, and then you get to choose for yourself. So it's like you're always kind of one step ahead, and I feel like that's what you've accomplished, because you were here to do that, to master that part of this realm, to really balance those energies and really see and understand people. Because not only are you doing it to help people understand themselves, but I also feel like on a soul level, I see you collecting information energy wise, like on a soul level. So it doesn't matter if you don't believe in this, but I just see your soul before it incarnating, seeing a lot of the destruction and, you know, pain or whatever on earth, and it's like, right, we need to understand why this is happening, because only by doing that are we going to clear it. So I need to really go in. It's kind of like a spy undercover. I really need to go in, incarnate, be amongst it all, understand it myself, and then I'll be able to bring that information back so you can know what they're doing and why they're doing it. So it's part of like a greater cause. So there's a lot of taking in information, and I see you cracking yourself open and rewiring your own brain, you know? Like maybe in the past you may have been taken with your own anger and said things you might not have wanted to, or did things you might want not to, but you at one point capped it. And it's like, no more, I'm not getting involved in arguments like that. You have control over it. You're like in Kung Fu, and it's like you learn energetically, or at least that's what I found through downloading. It's like energetically I'm like slowing speed down, so I'm able to see somebody else's move. You've learned to do that energy wise, but you're also here to learn how to create abundance and wealth and happiness for yourself, similar to pile number one, because it's like I'm hacking into the system. I'm hacking into the system to make it work for me, so I can help other people hack into it and make it work for them. Yeah, really, really interesting. But I think you've cleared a lot of karma by understanding it, dissecting it, and putting it to bed. Because that's why we've got the Justice here. You really cleared a lot of karma in doing that. You're super intuitive. Your psychic gifts, you really... I see a lot of ticks there, because it's like, I need to work on the third eye. I need to practice with my intuition. And I see people coming, maybe getting one over on you, and you're like, that was a flaw in my system. You've just helped me realize that. Next time I'll be more careful. So the next time it's like, no, this time I'm going to listen to my intuition. And then that's flexing it. So you know, somebody doesn't get one over on you that second time, because you learned, and you're constantly learning like that. So it's like, and it's the same. It's like, especially in regards to spirit, maybe you had like a negative energy come towards you, and maybe it caused a little bit of like fuss, and then it's like, you've just shown me there's a flaw in my system, so now you have that defense there, so it doesn't happen again, so that you can kind of go into this work, and you can have anything chucked at you, and it's like, literally, it's not even touching me. I've seen worse than this, you know. Really interesting. It's almost like you're Sarah from the labyrinth, and she's like walking through the labyrinth, and she kind of gets hip to all the little tricks and stuff towards the end, and then she realizes she didn't really need to go through the labyrinth thing at all towards the end, and she kind of outbeats Jared, the Goblin King, in the end, and he's trying to play all these manipulative tactics, and she outbeats him, and she says, my favorite quote, "You have no power over me." So I think you're learning to really tap into your power and understand other people's darkness, so you can understand your own and hold those defenses, so that you can tap into other people's light and create a safe space for that light to kind of like rebirth and bring messages through to help people. But you're a light worker, but you bring light to the shadows, and that's what you're taking off, and I see you doing it. Anytime you do shadow work, cleanse, alchemize, see through somebody, anything like that, you are taking something off the box. Because I feel like you guys are alchemists too, because you have the Nine of Swords reversed. It's like, I'm coming out of these chains, but I have to understand how to do it first. You see magicians and they tie themselves up, and it's like, I'm going to get out of these knots. It's like you're learning how to master it like that. Learning how to master the earthy realm like that. When all seems lost, trust I'll rebirth, because I can manipulate the energy to do that. Because I'm in control of it. And next time you won't even be able to put me back where I was, because I would have learnt your tricks. It's quite cool. It's quite interesting. You're really intelligent, by the way. Really intelligent. You're also very poetic, I feel. I can see you guys like writing books or something. I think that you'll definitely be able to help people I feel like you'd be really good like mentors. I do see that you'd be able to really help. I see the occult here. Like I see a lot of like tarot healing, you know, shamanism, Reiki healing, astrology, because you're good at that. You're good at seeing into things. But I feel like you'd almost be a good like mentor with that. Or you just be really good. If you're not in that, I see you guys doing that, because I see you taking that off the box. If not, you could just be into psychology, anything along those lines of like criminology, psychology, anything like that. I see you guys doing that as well, because like you don't get swayed and you keep that light intact within you. So it's like I'm able to observe but not absorb it, and see into other people's minds without losing who I am, which is a hard thing to do, by the way, because you're quite like empathic, but you're able to go into those darker energies and not have them control you. It's really, really interesting. You've really tailored your energy and mastered your energy, and you're constantly doing it. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What have my pile number 3s already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number 3s already accomplished? Tsunami, wake up call. What have my pile number 3s already? Cave, sanctuary. Completion, the full moon. One more card, please, spirit guides. I feel like you have gone through a lot and cleared a lot of karma, though. I do want to reference that with the ticking of the boxes, because you've had to clear your own shadows, and I feel like you saw a lot. So it's like that could have easily stayed in your system, but you were like hacking away what didn't serve you and only took the wisdom. So you've really cleared a lot of karma that you really should be proud of. Like you've cleared a lot of it, and you're able to observe it without letting it take you. We also then have the new moon, promise, and then the back of the deck we have fire, passion. Okay, wake up call. Why do we have a wake up? I love the full moon. The moon's quite prominent here, isn't it? Okay, so why do we have a wake up call? You may have had a lot of things happen suddenly to you and you've had to think on your feet. That's what I'm getting with the tsunami card. Like, you may be very, you may have a lot of, I see like a strong Uranus influence in your chart. I really see a lot of that, like that Aquarian influence, because it's like sudden shifts, sudden changes. And it's like almost like the minute you master something, it's like boom, something's flipped on its head, or something. Like I feel like when you were young, lots of things came out of nowhere. It's almost like I've just incarnated. I'm sat here in a field with like a bat, and everyone's chucking balls at me, and I have to keep batting them off, and I have to think on my feet. So you kind of learn through chaos. So it almost feels like you grow through chaos. You found your stillness through chaos. You found your light through the dark. You constantly did that. And that's already ticked off the box. You've already done it. You've already found that inner peace. Something could be coming towards you, and you know, that's something that could have people scared and running, and you're just like, calm. Let's be calm, and let's just slow everything down. Let's center the chaos, you know? And I see a lot of people like, that's dark, that's, you know, the devil, that's bad, and you're like, what is bad? Like, what are you? Let's just calm our fears down for a second. Like, let's dissect where this is coming from here. Like, I see a lot of that coming through as well. I'm here, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Like, I feel like if you were in like a haunted home and there was like, you know, lots of energies kind of maybe mucking about and moving things to scare people, I feel like you'd be there laughing with the energies. Like, that was funny, and everyone's running out like, oh my god, and you're there like even moving things with the spirits, like, yeah, let's play about. Like, I just see that. It's like, it's fun, it's funny. It's not like we don't need to fear anything if we're in control of ourselves, you know. But to do that, we have to be in control of ourselves, and that's what you've ticked off the box. We have sanctuary. That's what I mean. I feel like you've spent a lot of time on your own to understand your own energy. You may have been single for a long time. It could have been your childhood being alone a lot. You may have been left to your own devices a lot. Or getting lost in books and movies and learning about things that way. You don't have to have gone through a lot through childhood. It could be you just saw a lot of you know, maybe adult movies or adult books and read things, and it's like, I've got to dissect this now. This actually happens on Earth, and I've got to really understand why it happens. So I see that full moon completion and new moon promise. How are we supposed to create the abundant life that we all deserve if we're controlled by our shadows? And how are we supposed to control our shadows if we fear it? We have to master those energies, and we're told not to because they're dark. Once we master them, we'll be able to have one foot in the light, one foot in the dark, understand the duality, and create from balance. And that way there's not going to be any destruction because we've created through substance. That's what your energy's coming through to kind of reference. And I feel like that's what you've been doing. That's what's ticked off. You've been learning to balance that. Because if you look, we have tsunami here, which is this big wave. But then when you look, you're like completion. So it's like a big wave. You've had to learn how to dissect things. You've completed that energy. And now we have promise, and the tide is nice and still. Look at the waves. There's barely any waves in the sea. It's all flat. Because it's like completion. And we have that promise of like what's to come then. Because we don't have to fear anything now because we already understand our own energy. Let's pull your final cards. Pile number... I think that you've mastered your darkness. I think you've mastered your emotions as well. I think you intellectualize your emotions, which makes me feel like you may have an air moon or a lot of air in your chart. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, because there's almost this feeling of like, I'll feel into my emotions, but I make the choice to. Some people don't have the choice. It's like they've got a lot of water energy, and it's like, I'm just naturally feeling it. I'm naturally swimming through like a fish. Whereas you're almost like, you're able to kind of stand at the edge of the ocean and be like, right, let me wade through these emotions. What do I need to feel? What do I need to purge? This one, right, bring this lake to me. Now I'm going to jump in. So it's like you're intellectualizing it, which also means you could have a lot of earthy energy in your chart. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. But for a lot of you, I feel like it's air. For a lot of you, I feel like it is. You may people watch as well. I feel like you learn a great deal from watching other people. We have new beginnings. Pile number 3. What have my pile number 3s accomplished in this lifetime so far? We have honor in your energy. How can I love myself if I don't love my darkness? Everyone talks about self-love, but yeah, and they run from the parts that need the love the most. Why? Everybody talks about having love and compassion for people, but when they're different to them, they don't like them. Why? I see your mind thinking of these things, even through childhood. People are saying that they care about the environment, but yet they do everything to go against the environment because they don't want to change things in their own life, because comfortability is something that they prefer rather than actually making a change and being uncomfortable. So how can they say that they do this? And I see you just watching people and learning and being like, okay, and understanding it. And I see you doing it young. Like, I see you as a child seeing through adults. You're lying, Patricia. You know, you're lying, Patricia. I know you're lying. I see you do, like, I see that. I don't know if someone was cheating. I don't know why I'm seeing a scenario where somebody was cheating on someone and you watched it when you were younger and you're like, you might not have even had proof, but it's like, I know you're up to no good. Like, you're intuitively picking up things, and you might have said things. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing a dynamic. This is very specific, where you could be like, you know, you're with your family and you're younger, and you just intuitively know that this person's cheating on this person. So then you're like, oh, this person's girlfriend or boyfriend, and then everyone's like, where did you get that from? And you're like, oh, I just know it. Like, I just feel like that, you know, there's something's going on. And you're like 9, and people are like, what? And then it turns out that Uncle Roger was cheating on his wife, you know, and that person was a secret girlfriend. And it's like, I see a lot of that, and people being, oh my God. And I also see people maybe lying to you or trying to keep something from you. So maybe bending the truth or keeping something back, and you just saying it out loud. Oh, where are you going? To see your other girlfriend or your other boyfriend? And they're like, oh my God, how did they know that? Or you might even do it in jokey ways as well, like, because it just comes into your mind, like, oh yeah, you were talking about me the other day, weren't you? And it's like, only joking, and they're like, but they might have been, and you just knew. And you play it one step ahead, and I think sometimes people don't think that you're doing that, but you are, because you really read people. But I think again, it's like the game of, you know, when people play cards. I remember on The Office, Pam said something like, rule number 1 of poker, you don't play the cards, you play the opponent. So it's almost like, I'm not showing my cards and I'm going to act, I'm going to bluff here. Like, you're good at that. You're able to do that and master that to maybe keep yourself safe or keep things hidden. It's really quite interesting. On the back of the deck, we have past, present, future. More ocean. Past, present, future. Why do we have past, present, future, spirit guides? How are we going to advance? This is a thing you're pondering. It's like, how are we going to advance as a species if we keep just going around in this karmic cycle? How are we going to have this state of peace within ourselves and on earth if we're constantly fighting each other? And why are we, you know, continuing to plant trees when on the other end people are burning them? Like, how are we, you know, we need to target what's stopping us from flourishing first, you know? Instead of condemning what's stopping us, we need to look at it. It's like so interesting the way that you just dissect things. I don't know why I'm smiling, because it's like, wow, your brain's really cool. I really like pile 3. That's how I feel. It's like, wow. Love that. So pile 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what your soul has already accomplished in this lifetime. So you guys chose the Ocean Jasper. Start with tarot and we will get in. So pile number 4, please, spirit guides, the Ocean Jasper pile. Tap me into the collective and the Akashic records of my pile number 4s. What have they already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number 4s already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile number 4s? Let me grab your card. Queen of Pentacles, okay. What have my pile number 4s accomplished in this lifetime, spirit guides? I'm going to lay the cards and then I'll channel for you. Pile number 4. What have my pile number 4s already accomplished in this lifetime? 10 of Pentacles. I'm hearing, I'm living my life for me and no one else. I came into this life on my own. I'm leaving this life on my own. I am here to create love, be love, feel love, create inspiration, be the inspiration, find inspiration. I'm here to journey. I'm here to, it's like I'm looking at earth and human beings. I'm like, I want to be like one of those and I want to live it to its capacity. I don't just want to be stuck on the treadmill. I don't want to be stuck in a wheel. Like if I'm put on a wheel, I'm going to jump off because why am I on the wheel? Like I'm here to speak my truth and I'm here to dance when I want to dance and move when I want to move. And there's a lot of that, like you can't define me, you can't put me in a box. And it's like, if you want to stay stuck in a cycle, that's fine, but I'm not going to. I'm going to jump out of it. I don't want to be like that. And I see your soul looking at other souls on earth and kind of being like, they're not connected to their own inner cycles. They're not even connected to what their heart wants. A lot of them aren't really happy. They're just stuck. But they're not moving. And fair enough if they were happy going around in this wheel because they chose to and they enjoy it, but a lot of them didn't even choose it and they're not enjoying it. So why are they still there? Because they can jump out. And I see your soul looking at it and being like, I'm gonna lead the way, or I'm gonna jump out, and if people want to follow me, they can. And that's really something that you came here to do. And I feel like I'm being shown a tick there, like you've jumped out of a cycle of something. It could be like a karmic loop, or it could be like you were in a job that didn't satisfy you, but then it's like, this isn't making me happy, I'm leaving. Or in a town that didn't satisfy you and it's like, I'm leaving, like I don't want to be boxed in. Let me go grab the cards that fell, because they flew on the floor. And one of the cards from the other deck fell on the floor as well. Okay, pile number, let me sit down. Okay, pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4. I also feel like you also incarnated to just be a little bit of a helping hand. And I think you've done that for people because there's a tick off the list. Like, I almost feel like you've helped people see from a higher perspective, or just really bigged people up, like giving people ego boosts, got them off their feet, got them to dance, got them to feel good about themselves, had them say F it and just do what they want. Like, I feel like you've got people to do that just by speaking to them, not you persuading them to do something. It's them wanting a shift and you helping them do it, just by your own words of wisdom or your own inspiration. I feel like you had people jump out of their own box, and I think anytime you do that, that tick just gets brighter and brighter, because I think that's one of the things you came here to do. People should be living for themselves. There's a strong urgency of your soul going, people should be living for themselves, people should be working for themselves, like people should be fighting for themselves and standing up for things that they believe in, not being pushed back down. And I want people to hold on to that. Like, there's a fire, you know. Pile number, and I'm hearing, I take something off the list when I do whatever I want to do. And I'm hearing, I can't remember the TV show it's from, but the guy, I think it's like a cartoon thing, and the guy says, they're booing at him, and he's like, your cheers mean nothing. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem. And it's really funny, and I just, that's what I'm getting from you guys. Look at that, 8 of Swords being trapped. I see that. It's like, I see people projecting onto you, like, why are you being reckless? Why are you doing that? And it's like, I'm living my life. I don't want to be stuck in this box. You know what I mean? And anytime you don't allow those projections to sway you, you're taking that off the box. It's like, I'm here to find my way as a human being without the need for a list of things to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to regret, you know, or be tied to something too deep. Pile number 4. Ooh, we have the Star. And the back of the deck we have the Ace of Cups. I also feel like anytime you set out to physically do what you have in mind, you're taking something off the list. And that could be so small. That could be like standing up to somebody in your family that you've wanted to, but you've almost felt like they took your power away. You tick something off the box when you stand up to them. You tick something off the box when you stand up for yourself. When you are in that job and it's not paying you what you feel it should. When you're standing up for yourself and you're saying, either pay me what I deserve because I'm working my ass off, or I can go somewhere else. That in itself is ticking something off the box because you're standing up for you. Anytime that you decide, you know, your mind is wired to push you and you're like, I've got to get up and I've got to do this, this, and this, but your body's like, I'm tired and actually I just kind of want to chill. Anytime you make those little tweaks and decisions, you're ticking something off the box, you know? And again, that could be clearing karma. Maybe people in your family line have always kind of done the same thing and stuck. It's reminding me of Coco, the Disney film Coco. And he wants to be a musician, but his family hate music and they don't want music. And they fear music, right? They don't want it. And they want him to work for the family business making shoes, and he's like, that's boring, I don't want to do that. I want to, you know, he's got the guitar and he's like, I want to play. And obviously he ends up saving the day and he finds out that his great-grandfather was a musician, and that was him following his soul and his heart and what he loved to do, because he loved to play guitar and he loved to do that. So I feel like anytime you do that, I think that you're taking something off the list. Anytime you choose to feel a certain way when somebody's wanted you to feel something different, you know, maybe in school and you'd wear something and somebody was like, why are they wearing that? You just stand there and going, do you know what, you want me to feel bad wearing this, but I wanted to wear it because it makes me feel good. And you can project all you want, but I don't like your plain ass t-shirt, Sally. So there's that, you know. Anytime that you stand in it and you're like, no, this is me and this is what I want to do, you're taking something off the list. And you may have had to stand up to a few things, you know. But I feel like you're always coming from a good place, because look at the guy in the background looking at the couple there in the horizon. It's almost like you're looking, you're really looking to uplift people, because you see the goodness in people and you see people's inspirations, and it's like, I don't want that wasted. I don't want that fire to burn out. You may be in that pile where I was talking about Jack from Titanic, because he keeps popping up, to the point I even watched Titanic the other day because he kept popping up. But Jack says to Rose, and I know this because I was watching, what day was it? I think it was a Monday. Jack said to Rose, you know, the life she was in, she had to kind of like sit proper and be married off to that guy and everything, and you know she didn't want to do that. And he says, you're not like them and you're different. And he says, you can go on like, along these words, he says, you can go and like play pretend or whatever with them, but like sooner or later that fire that I love about you is going to burn out. And I see you looking at people like that, because it's like that Jack Dawson feel of like making my own luck and doing what I want to do. And people tell me that maybe I shouldn't like what I'm doing, or you know, I shouldn't be single because I have to be coupled up because you're worthy when you're in a relationship, or I should have a, you know, a job where it's 9 to 5 because it's stable like that, or I shouldn't be jumping from place to place because it's not correct. It's like, you can project onto me all you want, I'm not taking it in. And anytime you do that, you're listening to your intuition. And I see you looking at people like, but you want to be a guitar player and you don't, your guitar's getting dusty and you're not doing it, and I know that's what you want to do, and you're not even happy in that career that you want. Why? You're really good, and you're the type to support people and cheerlead people, and you just doing that, you're inspiring people, you're igniting that flame so that it doesn't burn out in people. And that's where that tick just keeps you know, getting brighter and brighter and you know, sparkling, because it's like there's so much to do here on earth. Why are we confining ourselves? There's so much to see, there's so much to understand about our own selves. Like, we don't know ourselves. Like, there's so much to learn, even in nature. It's like, I want to go, I want to move, I want to see things, and it's so beautiful. And it's like, I want to do that for me, and then maybe inspire other people. That's what I see. You'd be really good, like, motivational speakers. Do you know what you'd be good at as well? Vlogging. Like, literally just vlogging about your life. Because some people just, they could vlog, but they might not have the knack for it, because, you know, something else might be better for them. But you guys, like, I see you guys sitting in front of a camera just talking, and you'd be so fun to listen to. Like, stories that you have, or like if you travel, taking a vlog and showing people things. Like, I think people find that really interesting, even if it's just your everyday life. I think just things that you do different, the way you move, you're exciting and you're fun and you lift people up. I see it. Yeah, I think you've got that sauce, that magic sauce that's just charismatic and fun, and you're just like a walking flame that's really inspiring. And I think you'd be really good at that. So I would think of starting things on social media if you don't. If you already do, you're taking something off the list. But if you don't, even if it's just like a side thing, give it a go. YouTube, TikTok. I would say YouTube and TikTok. Because with YouTube, you can watch vlogs and you can sit there and speak. And I feel like you'd be so fun to watch. You'd have so many stories. Like, you'd be good at telling stories and things. You have like Mercury and Leo or something like that. Very charismatic, you guys are. You know how to get people on their feet. But like with TikTok as well, like, I just think you have a way of doing things that are like funny and quirky and different and motivating. Yeah, I think you'd be really good at that, because you're like a star, and we have the star here. Yeah, I feel like you'd be really good at that, because I think that what you've already done and taken off the list is, I think you do this in everyday life anyway. Like, people are like, oh, what are you up to? And you're like, oh, I just came back from this place and I saw this, or I've just done this, or I've just started this company, or I've just started this business, or I've just taken this course. And people are like, oh my God, and it's almost like people are living through you. That's why I feel like you'd be good on like YouTube or something, because you already do it. I feel like people want to hear about you, or people want to live through it. People check up on you. You may not realize it, but on social media, I feel like people check up on you, because it's like they're living through you. Oh my God, they took that leap. They took that leap. Well, they might be a bit scared to. And some people might have the inspiration to do it, whereas other people might fear it and project onto you. But either way, they're watching. You know, I think you're meant to be seen. I really do. I really feel like you're meant to be seen. because I think you're seeing it anyway. People just watch what you're up to. It's fascinating, I feel, because you live authentically, and every time you do that, you take something off the list. Let's pull some more oracle cards. Similar to pile number 2, but I felt like pile number 2's was a little bit different. But I feel like you're the type where it's like everyone in the hometown's getting a Ferrari and you're getting a big truck. You know, like it's that sort of thing. It's like everybody from your hometown is getting a mortgage with kids, and you are jetting off to France. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. And it's not like I'm not like other people. It's not like that. It's this is what I want to do, you know? And a lot of people that may be doing all of those things, they might not want to be doing it, but they're just doing it because they feel I have to, because it's a cycle. Whereas you're like, I'm doing it for me. I'm moving for me. And that's why you're here as the inspiration sort of thing, to ignite people, you know? Or to ignite people to even have both. If you want the stability, cool, but you can do this on the side. You know what I mean? You're a really good piano player. Why don't you just like do that on the side? When you put that on the internet, when you show people, when you showcase it, you show people their good traits as well. I feel like you point them out to people, and when you do that, there's another thing you're taking off the list, and you do that naturally. Oh my god, your hair looks really nice. You have a really good way of doing makeup. You are a really good driver. You're doing it constantly, and putting people on this spotlight as well, because it's like, look at this person, look what they can do, look how good this person, and you make people feel really good. And doing that is taking something off the list, because it just naturally comes to you. We have focus crystals. Pile number New Moon, Promise. It's come out for almost every card. Every pile. Pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. The Ocean Jasper pile. What have my pile number 4s already accomplished? Not letting people dull your light is another thing that you constantly accomplish, because I feel like people have projected onto you, and there have been times where you felt insecure. You might have felt the need to play small. There have been times that you've done it, but you've bursted right back out, or you've learned the lesson, or you've alchemized through it and you've bursted right back out, because I think people are really trying to snub that light, you know, and snub that brightness and that optimism. Why are they being all excited for? It's just life. And you're like, exactly, it's life. We're here, we're alive, you know what I mean? I feel like people have tried to stop you from doing that and have you play small. But I feel like anytime you've rebirthed through that or not allowed somebody to do it, you've ticked something off the box. Anytime you smile for no reason, you tick something off the box. We have the Milky Way, perspective. One more card from this deck, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4. What have my pile number 4s already accomplished in this lifetime? What have my pile 4s already accomplished? We have Strength, which hasn't shocked me. It's just Leo energy. We have the Mountain. Again, you're headstrong, and it's like Moana, you know? Moana was accomplishing something when she went across the sea to restore the heart of Te Fiti, because she knew that was something that she felt she had to do. And everyone on the island was like, you don't go past the barrier reef. Like, you don't go past that because it's dangerous. And she's like, I'm feeling called to this. I am not staying stuck in the town. And I'm hearing the song from Moana where they sing, there you are. You'll find happiness where you are. And there's this feeling of you like, yeah, but also let's go across the sea. Let's do this as well. I feel called here. You know what I mean? I can come back here. It can be my home base, but I want to see more. I want to do more. I want to do more than this. I don't just want to settle for, you know, just the basics. Like I want to see. I want to live life to the max sort of thing. And we have rebirth here, the spring equinox. So crystals, focus. Anytime you start putting action towards something that you've had in your mindset and you have that courage to take the leap, you're taking something off because you're listening to your intuition, tapping into your AKASHIC records and going, let's go here, let's go here, let's go here. Anytime you tap into that optimistic side of you, so like, what if this happens? Yeah, but what if it doesn't happen? You know what I mean? Like, what if you know, I want to go for a run. What if you fall over? Yeah, but what if I run really far? Like, anytime you optimistically look at things, you're taking something off the list. Because I feel like naturally, you know, to balance things and not be, you know, deluded. But I feel like, you know, you're taking something off the list when you're like feeling that prosperous energy in your heart, then you know you've got to go after it, you know. Perspective is like, the earth is like a floating rock and there's billions of planets around us. Like, I'm not playing small. Like, this is what we're centered around. Who wants to just go around in cycles and not live in their life the way that they want to, when this is what we're actually on? I refuse to look at this as ordinary. Like, I refuse to do that. You're not going to have me look at this life as ordinary, because it's not. We have trees giving us the breath that we breathe. You know what I mean? We have solar systems and solar systems around us we haven't even seen. And you want me to just work a 9 to 5, come home and sleep? I don't want to do that, you know? And I see you guys like, no, I want more. Strength. Whenever you tap into that courageous spirit and you create more for yourself with this rebirth card, you're taking something off the list. Pile number 4. You do all of this constantly as well. Oh, hang on. Why aren't the cards exploding for me? It always happens. Did I drop any more? Was that it? Hang on, let me just check under there. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Pile number... Your words really hold weight as well, because you ignite. Like, when you're a light like that, you have a certain coding in your words that when you speak, it activates. And I feel like you're an activator like that. Pile number 4. We have feminine energy. What have my pile number 4s already accomplished in this life? New beginnings. Yeah, it's like not staying stuck, not sticking to that stagnant energy. And then duality at the back of the deck. Yeah, you know that quote, and it's like, but what if I fall? But what if I fly? Like, I feel like that's you. Why do we have feminine energy? It's knowing that you're going to be safe and protected, and knowing that things will work itself out regardless. Like, I feel like a lot of people worry about, what if this happens, what if that happens? And worrying's okay, but when we constantly overthink and we are in that mentality of lack, we're going to get more lack. But when we trust that the universe is abundant and it's going to come to us, and we do that by tapping into that feminine energy, that is when we start to really see gold, and we start to trust and work with the universe instead of working against it or having restrictions, and letting the universe kind of take us where we need to. And all we have to do then is really follow the intuition and take heed of the energy that we feel. And I see you guys mastering that, and when you do that, that's you taking something off the box. And I'm being told you've done that numerous times. And then we have new beginnings. I feel like constantly reinventing yourself and finding new to be excited about. That's another thing that you guys tick off the box a lot, because you're constantly on an adventure. It's like Peter Pan, you know? I know he says to... I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the word, because YouTube's so strict at the moment. But he says to something would be an awfully great adventure. And I know it's not the best word, but like, I just feel like just to live, just to be on Earth, it's an adventure. Like, let's go to Neverland, let's fly, let's do all of these things. Like, that's what you're here to do. You're not here to be boxing at all. Pile 4. And every time you break out of that box that other people are trying to put you in, you tick something off the list. So pile number 4, that is what I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.